Really excited. Bit nervous, like, because seeing the Scotland and the Island teams, they're putting some strong competition against us this year. Yeah, it's a bittersweet one for us with losing Linden straight after it, but things happen. But it'll seem strange as well having Gary Taylor on the coaching team, as normally he's one of the first names on the playing sheet for the Celtic. So it'll be strange for that, but yeah, really looking forward to it, especially with us hosting as well.
Yeah, big thing to be hosting it and going for six titles in a row. You've made three changes to the squad from the autumn. You said you're looking a little bit to the World Cup with that, obviously with that still only a few months away. Just tell us a bit more about your thinking behind the squad that you've chosen.
Well, I wanted, of course, we want to win, so I've had to have gone with one of the best squads we've got. But I also want to have another look at a couple of fringe players, which that does them a bit of disservice, really, call them fringe players, because they are good enough for the squad, but they don't always maybe get first team experience. So I just wanted to look at them and see, because at the end of the day, yes, we're at the Celtic now, we're also building to the World Cup, but I see part of my job is preparing the squad for the next section after the World Cup as well. And as we all know, after World Cups, you always get players that tend to retire or move on to bigger and better things. So, yeah, it's a bit of all sorts with it, really.
Uh, Injuries and form will clearly have an impact on the squad that you do name for the World Cup. But in a best case scenario where everyone's injury free and playing at the top of the game, how close in your head are you to having that finalized squad? Is it still all to play for people?
Oh, it's still all to play for. I would say this time last year I had a set 10 in mind. Now I've got 14 and I can only name 12, but with 10 traveling. So anyone who wants one of them red shirts for this World Cup is going to have to pull the finger out now, impress us with what they can do at the Celtic. Yeah, we've got a couple of players who weren't able to make the Celtic this year. So they're going to be doing their best to re-impress us in the last couple of camps and hopefully a couple of mid-season friendlies before the World Cup.
And that must be really positive for you as a coach to have, from 10 to 14. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but it's almost another half squad there to choose from for you to in terms of a player pool. And that's what you want, because that drives standards, doesn't it?
Well, when myself and Lana took over the Welsh squad back in 2014, our first competition, we took 7 players. That's all we had. With the camps this year, we cut them back from over 30 to 14 players. So it just shows the way the game's developed in Wales. And yeah, everyone who's put their hand up to want to play has really had to bring their A game and fight for the spots, which is only good for the sport and the development of the Welsh team as well.
We said looking to make it 6 Celtic Cups in a row. The history of the tournament, even just looking at the results from last year, the world rankings will make us going in as clear favourites, and retaining the trophy will be the number one aim. But what are you looking for from your team in terms of performance to, first of all, achieve that, retain the trophy, but also with the World Cup in mind in a few months' time?
I want them to show that they can gel properly as a fully formed squad, bring out not just the single hits going up all the time, but to work properly as a team, good communication, and to start bringing in some of the set plays we've been working on throughout the year and towards the end of last year as well. And yeah, it's make sure they gel, because the last thing you want at the end of the day, we've only got 10 players with us. So you need them to be able to work really well as a close unit, which luckily we've always had that with Wales. We've always seemed to have dropped lucky and everyone has gelled nicely together. Yeah, you always get strong personalities. Sometimes they'll clash. I clash with no end of people, but yeah, I think we're doing well, and hopefully the squad we've named for the Celtic and the couple that are missing, it'll give us a good look at what we can potentially do at the end of the year.
And you led me on beautifully to my my next question. You got Scott, obviously Scotland are part of the tournament on at the weekend. They're in our group in the World Cup. We've also got France, USA, who are a bit of an unknown package in America in terms of what they'll bring to the tournament. How do you feel about the group? And even at this stage, what are your targets in mind for the World Cup? Do you want to share them with us? Have you already got what you want to what you're looking to achieve come the autumn?
Yeah, the group, it's quite an interesting mix. As you say, we've got the USA in ours, which nobody knows much about. Looking at news that's coming from America and what people are saying, they seem to have a lot of ex-Paralympic boxing, wheelchair basketball players, which we know from playing against people who have played basketball before, their chair skills going to be phenomenal. So they're going to be a team nobody better take lightly. Otherwise, we're going to find ourselves getting the short end of a stick there. Scotland, yeah, we've played them in years past, and we've had some great results against Scotland, and we've also been turned over by Scotland in the past. So again, don't take them lightly. France, number one in the world. We saw what they did to England in the mid-seasons last year, where they turned them over 3 from 3. So that's the team that are going to give everyone a hard game. But yeah, we're hoping to get out the groups. We'd like to get out first, but reasonable speaking, we'll probably finish second in our group because of France. But you never know. We have a good day, France have an off day. Stranger things have happened in the past. So definitely looking at making the semis, if not the finals.
And just more generally, the tournament, it's I spoke to Jodie before we started chatting. She sort of reflected on 2013 and even 2017 as being, comparably this tournament, this World Cup in terms of the wheelchair, it's really got the profile. It's going to be, the DIS, which is a fantastic venue. The build-up is on a par with the men's and the women's tournament, and all really bringing the sport together. How excited are you from the bigger picture of the sport in Wales and more generally for wheelchair rugby league? How big a milestone can this tournament be?
Well, you said it yourself. The build-up ourselves now is on par with the men's and the women's. That's never happened before. 13 and 17, we were part of the festivals of World Cup. Yeah, it's still a World Cup, but it hasn't got the oomph behind it. But to be now part of the main tournament, fully televised, it's going to just make the game grow. It's showing that already with the next World Cup, looking ahead, with the expressions of interest that have come in already, which is, I think, 24, 26 have expressed interest. So it just shows what just the build up to this World Cup is doing now. It's getting other countries involved. So once we've played the World Cup, the sky's the limit. And for what it can just bring to Wales, yes, we've still got 3 Welsh teams down south, 1 up north. Fingers crossed, and with a bit of hard work, by the time the next one comes round, and with the publicity we're going to get off the back of this, who knows how many Welsh teams we'll have, potentially even our own league at one stage.
It's an exciting prospect, that is, certainly. So, but let's bring it back then to the Celtic Cup this weekend. Yeah. Bringing all the things we spoke about in mind, what will class as a successful day?
Walking away with the trophy, to be simple, but no. Just get some good games in, good game time. Yeah, we like the win, but we want a hard-fought win where the players have had to think and work out how to get over the line, not made it easy for themselves. So a good, successful game, 2 tight games. That's what we're hoping for.